Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast, and we are here to do Game Day Pick'em Week 11. College football playoff rankings just come out, and for the first time in Season 3, we've got some college basketball on Game Day Pick'em. What's up, guys? It's Brad Harvey. I am here with John Roberts, top right, John Hammonds at the bottom. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
What's happening?
Looks like John Roberts
Roberts is here with actual video, guys.
He's here in the flesh.
Face.
Yeah.
Framing it right here for you.
Yes. Oh, is that what you were doing? The framing?
That's what I was doing. I was framing my face.
All right, I got you. We got actual video here, man.
Yeah.
I'm a real person and not a chat GPT.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So he hadn't been on for about a month. He's been having some video issues, and that's what we're talking about. He's finally got some video back for us. And this is Brad with College SportsCast. This is our Game Day Pick'ems. We are in Week 11 of college football, and it's November. That means college basketball is kicked off. And at the end of the show, we're going to have 5 big games coming up this weekend and 2 of them next Tuesday that we're going to talk about a little bit of college basketball here at College SportsCast for the first time in Season 3. Hammonds, I know you're excited about talking about a little basketball.
Yeah, that's my wheelhouse. College basketball. That's where
John.
That's go ahead.
Yep. John Roberts. Yeah, you like college basketball, but it's not your favorite.
Of the 3 sports that we mainly deal with, this would be the one that I'm the least knowledgeable on. Complete. But I do like watching it, and I will get into, because I can obviously can see trends and forces and stuff like that with each of these teams. So I can obviously still speak intelligently about teams. I just may not be very technical on a lot of it, which is what tends to happen on almost everything anyway.
So Roberts is kind of our baseball expert, to be honest with you. So when baseball kicks off, he really kind of helps lead the baseball talk that we do here at College SportsCast. But anyways, we are excited to be back with you tonight.
I was like, in fact, I'm going to go see baseball tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to go watch a little bit of Auburn baseball. Yep. They're doing. They've got a 3-game
credentialed.
Yeah, they've got 3-game World Series down there, Fall World Series down at Auburn. They've already played the first 2. Looks like the Orange team has already won the World Series, won in the games 1 and 2. I'm going to go and just follow along, go watch just the teams play, because there are a bunch of freshmen that have come in. I believe there's about 3 to 5 of them that are key guys that are going to play a lot this year. One of them is the leadoff for the blue team, and I just really want to go watch that guy play. So
cool. You'll have to report and let us know how it goes down
on
the plains tomorrow.
I'll have an article and stuff like that when I
heard they didn't take off today either.
Yeah,
the basketball team.
That's a different sport. Yeah, we'll get to that because we're going to talk about that game. So,
oh goodness!
All right, guys. If you're on Facebook, you can send stars, and by sending stars, it helps us to earn money to continue to make more content. Also, you can subscribe to our page. If you're on Facebook, it's only 99 cents a month. It does help us make money to make more content. And it gives you your own subscribers college sportscast page, and I do post things on that throughout the week. So either one, and we appreciate the support. And if you're on YouTube, like, share, tell others. We would love to grow on that as well. So, all right, guys, we are going to kick this off and talk football, of course, at first here. And I've got 10 games lined up for us this week on football. And we're going to start out in the ACC. We've got Miami taking on Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. And the Hurricanes here in the college football playoff rankings at number 4 is a 10-point favorite. Hammonds, how do you see this game going this week?
I think Miami wins this game pretty much going away. Miami has had some close calls as of recent, but I don't think this is going to be one of those. I think they're going to be out for blood for this game, and I tell you why. Because wasn't it a year ago that
I know why
they had this little the fumble Rooski thing, and they lost in the last minute last year.
This is the game they should have took a knee. Take the knee, man. Just take the knee.
Yes, there's going to be some revenge on this game, and I think Miami wins this game, even though it's at Georgia Tech. I think they win this game going away.
I mean, if they're ahead late, take the knee, Cristobal. Take the knee. It's all I'm going to say.
Take the knee.
All right, John Roberts. This is a game last year, kind of making a little joke about it. This is a game they fumbled and should have taken a knee and was ahead and then got beat.
Yeah, is Haynes King not playing?
I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you.
Have not heard. I know that
I haven't heard.
He was questionable going into the game. So,
okay. I mean, you got to have him if you're going to do anything. Let's see. What was it? It's 10. Yeah. I mean,
It's
Miami's
10.
been.
This is on DraftKings.
Miami's been. Playing some of these games, too close for comfort.
They have.
The Florida State game was like that. The Cal game was like that. I mean, there was a bunch of them that were like that. But what I do think is that I think that they're going to start putting it together. I think that they will have a comfortable win here. I think that they will cover the 10. So I'm going Miami on this one. I think that their quarterback is just going to be too much for the Georgia Tech defense, and I like the head coach for Georgia Tech. I really do. I think he's going to build something over there, but this is just not going to be his game. This is not going to be his day. So it'll be Miami on this one.
All right. I agree with both of you. Miami really has played a lot closer games than what they should have lately. I like what Georgia Tech is doing. I think offensive and defensive line throughout the season, they have controlled a few games that maybe they shouldn't have, but they did. The Yellow Jackets did. And Cam Ward, I think he's special. I said he's special last year. I've been saying this for a while. My thing is with Miami, 4 of the last 5 games, they've given up 31 or more points on defense. If this team is going to make a run, not just 2, but in the college football playoffs, they've got to shore up some defensive problems on this team.
Yeah, I even me and you talked about this Tuesday or Wednesday night. I think Miami's biggest challenge is what do they do when they face some stiff competition in the playoff? How do they? Because they're not really beating a lot of great teams, and how do they look against a team that is about the same talent gap as them? Is my question.
Yeah, I mean, they've really got to shore up some defensive issues. Giving up 31 plus points for the last 5 games is an issue, man. I'm telling you, that's an issue. And this Georgia Tech team at home, they could make a surprise here, but I think Miami is by far the better team. I think Miami should go in, and I am going to pick them to cover this. But it wouldn't surprise me if this game is a lot closer than what it should be.
Yep.
It wouldn't
I'm
surprise
just kind
me.
of curious. I've been looking in these comments. Why does it say Facebook user?
I'm not sure, John. Not sure, man. All right. So we've got the next game. We're going into the SEC. We've got Florida taking on Texas. This is at Texas. This is kind of a large spread. Florida's been playing a little better. They played Georgia close. Georgia beat Texas. And it's a 21.5-point spread on DraftKings this evening, John. What do you think on this game?
Florida lost their quarterback to ACL injury, Graham Mertz. Then they lost DJ Lagway last week. And Evan.
Yeah, Lagway's not playing.
And Lagway's not playing. Now Warner is going to start for Florida.
So Lagway was officially ruled out. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Or is he just not starting? Because I didn't know.
No. He's hurt.
Here's the problem.
I know he's hurt.
Here's the problem. You got Warner, who gets his first ever college start on the road against a team that's allowing the fewest yards and second fewest points in the entire country. Florida's going to struggle to move the football tomorrow. I think this spread's about right. Now, I would probably have it about 18, but first time starting on the road in an environment like that, it's in Texas, and Brad, Texas ain't been playing great either. They're due for a.
They haven't. They struggled only a 3-point win against Vandy. They lost to Georgia.
That's why I say they're due a game where they just come out and just dominate, and I think this is that game. That's not to say that Florida hasn't played better in the last couple of weeks, but this is a different animal than they're accustomed to playing.
Losing Lagway does affect things. So
it does. It affects a lot of things because if you have this guy go down, you're probably going to have to start a running back at quarterback. I mean, Florida has a lot of injury bugs on that team.
Yeah. So you picking Texas to cover this?
I'm taking Florida to cover the 21.
Keep it within 21 and a half.
I think it'll be a blowout, but I don't think Texas is going to cover this game
though. Okay. John Roberts, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with that 21 and a half right there, because I think even if you get it to 20, I think it would be where I'd start to lean Texas. But with it being 21 and a half, where you've got to get through 3 touchdowns and then some in order to get to the in order to cover. So Florida may not be able to move the ball, but Florida's defense has been okay. It's not been great, but it's been okay. And Texas's offense hasn't done what it should be doing over the last few games. And that's the thing, is that like it has the potential to absolutely explode. And this could be a game where they break Florida. They could lean on it.
I hope it's this week and not a couple of weeks.
I mean, it's a possibility where Texas has, a 7 to 10 point lead at half, builds on it in the third quarter and makes it a 17-point lead in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they could put the finishing touches and win by 24.
I just think
at the same time, they could have a 3-point lead going into halftime, a 10-point lead after the third quarter, and only win by 17 or 20 at the end of the game. And you're now down, you don't cover. So it's just one of those where I'm not 100% sure whether this is something, whether I want to pick Texas just because, I know they're the better team. They are the more complete team on this. And obviously, Florida is down with their two quarterbacks. If they had Lagway, this would be much closer. And obviously I think the point spread would be much better than that. Then it wouldn't be a 21.5. It would be probably, 12 or something like that. I'm going to go Florida on this one. I'm going to say that they cover, that they keep it inside the 21.5. And even if it's just 21, the hook right there, I think could be the ultimate rider right there. It could still just be 21. So,
well, here's my thing. I agree with you both. Florida has been playing a whole lot better than I expected them to play. Lagway has come in and filled in for Mertz really good, and they have played much, much better, this Florida team has, than what I was expecting them to play this year. However, losing Lagway, going to your third string guy, a Yale transfer, by the way, is and going on the road for your first start in the SEC to Texas is a pretty big monster here. To
right.
tackle. And then here's the thing on the Texas side of it. Texas has not played the same since they reinserted Quinn Ewers. When Manning was in there, when he replaced him while Ewers was hurt, they were lights out, 40-some points a game and everything. But about 3-4 weeks ago now, Ewers comes back, and they just haven't quite clicked and looked the same as they have early in the season. Now, what gives is Ewers finally going to click back with the team? I'm not real sure. Early, before he got hurt, he was playing much better, I think, than what he's played the last 2 or 3 games. So I'm kind of torn. I kind of lean the way you guys did, but I'm gonna pick the opposite here. I'm gonna say this is the game that Ewers and Texas finally clicks again. 3 or 4 games after Ewers comes back in.
Would you say
they cover this at home?
Would you say? I think that if they cover, it's not going to be Ewers. I don't think it'll be just Ewers. I think it'll be a defensive score in there too, because I think what it is if they cover, it's going to be that the third team quarterback in a hostile environment turned the ball over deep in his own territory, if not through a pick six or fumbled or whatever.
Right. With a third string quarterback. That's absolutely possible.
That's the way I see it going. And I think also in order to cover, I think it may need to be multiple turnovers deep in that lead to scores, and not just one. It needs to be multiple in order to get over the 21. In order to get over the 21, I think it's got to be multiple turnovers deep in their own territory. And I think Texas has definitely the ability to do that. I think that's, something that they definitely can do. I'm kind of betting against it right now.
I'm just doing. So, and I feel like I'm kind of going against the grain because I think conventional wisdom says that Florida will probably cover this. So I feel like I'm going kind of against the grain and saying Texas is going to click a lot better than what they have and pull this out at home pretty wide margin.
Yeah. Florida covers if the third team quarterback can basically just take care of the ball. And doing that,
right.
If you end every possession in
on the road in Texas is going to be tough.
Right. But if you end every possession in a kick, which is, whether you're punting or something like that, you didn't turn the ball over.
Right.
And that's where you're looking at.
Right.
So
yeah,
we'll see how that works out.
I agree with you. Yeah, it could go either way, to be quite honest with you. All right, another big game this weekend. This is SEC Nation is going to be on hand in Oxford for this one, I believe, this weekend. We've got Georgia at Ole Miss. Georgia is a 1.5-point favorite in Oxford, and both of these teams still have aspirations for the college football playoff. Of course, Georgia's in a better position than Ole Miss. Ole Miss can't afford to lose this one, John, at home.
No.
Hammonds.
For me, this is a big game in the SEC standings, really. Georgia has dominated since losing on the road to Alabama. They beat Texas. They beat Florida last week. Ole Miss are good, but they've dropped some games to Kentucky, LSU. And Georgia has an elite passing offense, which, to be fair, Carson Beck has not really looked that great. He hasn't looked, he's kind of been so-so.
Yep.
But you're hoping one game he can finally turn it around and figure it out. Ole Miss relies a lot on their passing
100%.
offense. Ole Miss relies. I don't know what's causing that, but
I don't know.
Ole Miss has some key injuries. Henry Parrish is out.
It could be a
Trey
glitch.
Harris.
I don't.
Trey Harris is not expected to play. And Ole Miss likes to throw the ball. And it's going to be a challenge because Georgia's pass defense is ranked 26 in the country. They're going to have some issues throwing the ball, I think. That's why I think Georgia wins this game. And I think Ole Miss is the loser in this one. There's a lot at stake for this game, but without Trey Harris, I think it's going to be tough because you're going to have to rely on a couple of guys like Jordan Watkins, Juice Wells.
Jordan Watkins looked really good last week.
He did, but this is a different animal you're going up against. This is a Georgia defense is a lot better than so.
All right, John Roberts, what do you think on this game?
Yeah, so look, I was just down in Ole Miss, and I saw the campus. On a Wednesday, the campus was not really buzzing the way that I thought it should be for a Wednesday week of Georgia and whatnot. But I think if you look at SEC Nation, I think, or if you watch Paul or anything like that, you probably saw that they have, got the tents in the Grove. They've got everything set up. We actually saw the SEC Nation bus driving to Oxford as we were leaving on Wednesday, or on Thursday. So on Thursday morning when we were driving away, we saw the SEC Nation bus coming into town. So
going in.
Yeah. So, but we did see where they were going to set up and everything like that. We did tour the campus and whatnot. But the biggest thing is right now is, yes, the players that are out or that could be out or questionable for this game are going to be huge, and they need a few of them to be playing because a couple of them are the same position. If not, and I think that's just at the wide receiver position. You need. I'm trying to get the some of the names here of some of the players. Why I'm going blank on some of these guys, but yeah, you've got to have
one.
Yeah, yep. So you need Trey Harris, but Trey Harris I think is out. Again, it's his backup. His backup is the one that they need to have playing. I think that's who it is.
Well, I mean, Jordan Watkins played really well. You got Juice Wells.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a wide receiver that plays for them.
Well, and you got Caden Prescorn, the tight end. He's pretty good.
Yeah, Caden Prescorn is the other one that's hurt. Prescorn's the other one that's hurt.
Right. So
he was out last week.
Right. So there's going to be a few of them that you're going to need a few of those guys to play. I think they're supposed to be getting an offensive lineman back that played early in the season but has been out since. So that should hopefully help. They're going to be very reliant on their defense. So it's going to be interesting to see that defensive line versus Georgia's offensive line. I know Georgia's offensive line should be also getting healthier as we are going. But the fact that Carson Beck has thrown, 10 or 11 picks in the last few games is insane.
Yeah.
It's he's a guy that was, it's one thing for you to have like to have Peyton Thorne throw 11 picks or whatever, because he wasn't expected to be a Heisman Trophy candidate at the beginning of the season. But it's another thing when it's, the Georgia starting quarterback is the guy that's throwing all these picks. So that's a bit concerning. And then you've got
but they're still winning games.
You've got a defensive line that for Ole Miss that has been wreaking havoc and has been getting a ton of sacks. And I'm really interested to see what that defensive line is able to do against Georgia, because if they can be physical and match Georgia's physicality, then I think that they have the ability to at least be in the game and have a chance to win. But when you turn it around and you're looking at Ole Miss on the offense, where they exploded last week, just absolutely went off, if they can carry that momentum against Georgia, but Georgia, again, very good defense, very good against the pass. And that's one that you're gonna have to be able to do to beat Georgia, and you're gonna have to find ways to get your receivers open, scheme your receivers open, and if you can do that, again, got a chance. So it's a 1.5 Georgia. I'm going to go the 1.5 on Georgia, but I mean, I think Ole Miss keeps it real close. I think they keep it real close. I just don't know if they're going to pull this one off.
Ironically, this is the two college football playoff teams that Kentucky played the best against. Beat one of them here in Oxford, which would be Ole Miss, of course, here, and played Georgia to a 13-12 contest, which was a loss, but in Lexington. And I mean, I think these are two really good teams that if Ole Miss can win this game, I think they still have a pretty good shot of making the college football playoff here. This is a game that is a knockout game for them, to be quite honest with you. So I know you guys are talking about injuries and things of that nature, but this is a knockout game for them. If they lose this game, everything that they have been planning for since January in the transfer portal and everything else is out the window, out the door, because I don't think there's a chance to come back if they lose this game to college football playoff level. So it's at home. This is a game you have to win. I agree. Georgia is 49-0 versus everybody else besides Alabama in the last 4 years. It's a monster job to get done. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not picking Ole Miss here. I'm going to pick Georgia the same as y'all do, but I am saying just how important this game is. It should be close. It should come down to the end. But sometimes Ole Miss lays an egg, and Kiffin lays an egg. On occasion, once or twice a season, they just don't play good. But I'm going to tell you what, Jackson Dart, we've talked about Carson Beck, Jackson Dart looked really good last week. I mean, he was throwing darts. Jackson Dart.
Yeah,
was.
but you got to be fair. They was,
against who?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I had to pick the two, if you ask me who has the better quarterback right now, I think it's Ole Miss. I think he's better than Beck. He's
playing better.
So we'll see. All right, we're going to go to the Big Ten, guys. We got Michigan at Indiana, and this looks like a total flip-flop here of way things usually are. If you look at the score last year, Michigan played Indiana. In Michigan, it was 52-7, John.
Mm-hmm.
And Hammond, somehow or another, Indiana is a 14.5-point favorite over Michigan in this upside-down world we live in college football. What is going on?
Michigan's offense just simply can't throw the ball. Their only chance they're really going to have is rushing the football against one of the top run defenses. Michigan's in for a rough day tomorrow. And they might not even have their star corners in Johnson and Hill. Both of them might not even play. And that's going to be tough if those two don't play. I expect Indiana to dominate this game and take them to beat the spread.
What in the wide world of sports?
I mean, give me Indiana and the 14 points. I mean, I just don't trust Michigan to win this game, especially with their offense. And I'm going to tell you something. Bloomington, even though this is a down Michigan team, this place is going to be raucous, man. They've not had a team like this in quite some time. And I wouldn't be shocked if the goalpost came down tomorrow, because they've had their fair shares of losses to Michigan.
They beat them. The 2020 team did beat Michigan. That's the only one.
Yeah, but be fair, that was during COVID. To be fair, that was during COVID. I mean,
I'm just pointing out that's the last time, the only time that I can think of in 20 years that they beat them, the 2020 team.
I just think tomorrow is going to be bad news for Michigan. Michigan's walking into a really tough situation.
Thinks Indiana smokes them. Okay.
I do too.
I think y'all are all smoking.
I pick them to cover. I mean,
all right, John.
This is not a good. This is not a good Michigan team.
This is the baseline. 14.5 is the baseline right now.
I am just simply stating the facts in college football.
So 14.5 is the baseline. They've beaten every team by a minimum of 14 points.
14 points. Yep.
Yes. Yep. So, that's the baseline. So if they don't cover, they still could beat the team by 14 points. But then you miss it just because you got the hook there. So I'm still going to say that they're going to cover, because I'm going to go with that it's going to be more than 14. But yeah, Michigan's just not good. This is one of the worst defending national champions in history.
In a long time.
So Auburn was bad in 2011, but they weren't this. I don't think they were this bad. I'd have to go take a look. They were probably 8-4 coming out off of their national championship, and then they went 3-9 the next year. So in 2000,
is Michigan 5-4? Is that where they're at? 5-4, I think.
Possibly. So
I think they're 5-4.
Yeah, they're 5-4. 5-4 versus 9-0. So so Auburn, I think, was 8-4. So I mean, in order for Michigan to be 8-4, they've got to win out, which means they have to beat Indiana and Ohio State, which ain't happening. Ain't happening. So and then I don't remember what I mean, LSU after their 2019 run, it was the COVID year, and I don't remember what they did, but I think they were still pretty okay. I think they were okay. It was an all SEC. It was a 10-game all SEC schedule, but I don't think they were like absolutely dreadful the year after. I don't know of another team that was just this bad. They started out good on defense, and I think
100%. I'm just kind of adding stuff on.
I think that I think that the defense is just wearing out, because it's, you're 9 games in and you're the only thing that's keeping the games, relatively close. Whatever games are close, it's because of the defense. It's not because the offense just went off, in a shootout. Because if you get in a shootout, you can kill Michigan, because Michigan ain't gonna match you point for point. So you get to where you stretch it on them, and they can't, because they can't throw it. Because they can't throw it, they cannot come back. I mean, it would have to be, they would have to be able to play ball control, game management, and run the ball to be able to win the games. And see, the difference right now is that, like, between Michigan and Vanderbilt, and it's weird to even have this comparison. Between Michigan and Vanderbilt, the difference is that Diego Pavia actually can make plays with his arm, even though his arm is not, necessarily that great. He doesn't fit the measurables on the size and everything like that. But
Pavia is way better than what Michigan's putting out there.
They're essentially the same team, though. They're the same team. They're the same team. It's just that they have a little bit better quarterback, and that's what's allowing them to win some of those games, because they have a really good defense, but they have the ability to make plays, and Michigan doesn't. And that's why Michigan's just getting run out of the gym. Or run off the field. So I'm going with Indiana. I am expecting Indiana to win by 17 or more in this game. So I'm going Indiana. 10-win Indiana.
All right. So I'm just kind of
10-0.
Yeah. Right. I'm just trying to play off with the show a little bit here. And look, Cignetti is absolutely killing it in Bloomington. They have one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the country. Michigan, who's your daddy? That's all I got to say.
Who's your daddy?
I mean,
and another thing,
I'm just telling you.
Let's go ahead and plug a sponsor here. Okay. All right. A huge Michigan supporter, Connor from Home Field Apparel. I'm not actually wearing Home Field Apparel. I apologize, but Connor from Home Field Apparel, huge Indiana supporter. Home Field Apparel is they're based out of Indianapolis, but they're Indiana. I mean, they started with Indiana. So, but they are a vintage college licensed apparel company. Some of the most comfortable shirts. They have over 180 teams, schools that they have licensed. They have some pro, but they are also they've got some non-school based stuff that is just home field. They've got stickers, hats, socks,
a little bit,
joggers, hoodies, bomber jackets, along with their t-shirts. Their t-shirts are what they made their name on, but everything else is awesome. Very much just got the cool looks, the retro looks, all the different designs from your team's all the the old logos and stuff like that. And if your team is not
old school stuff,
if your team is not on Home Field Apparel, it's not because Home Field Apparel said no to that team. It's because that team said no to Home Field Apparel. So yell at your team if they're not there. And I'm looking at you, UAB.
Right.
Your fault.
All right. UCS Cast, if you are a first-time buyer, for a 15% discount, and we would appreciate that. All right, guys. listen, I got basketball to go through. We got several more games. We're going to have to pick up the pace on these picks to kind of get through all this.
Hurry up, no huddle. Hurry up, no huddle. Run it.
So we got Colorado 4.5 at Texas Tech. Texas Tech is coming off a nice win at Iowa State. So this is at home. 4.5-point favorite for the Buffs here. Hammonds, what do you think?
I like this. Despite winning last week, I think the Red Raiders are really inconsistent, particularly on defense. They rank 103rd in scoring defense.
Yeah, their defense is bad.
They're not good at all. And now they're having to go up against a Colorado team that is 32nd in the nation in scoring offense. You know, they got Shadir Sanders, Travis Hunter, and Colorado is very much alive in the Big 12 race. And I just think they're going to be too much for Texas Tech this weekend. And I think Colorado covers the spread.
This is on the road.
Well, still.
I think
this is not a good Texas Tech defense. They're going to get sliced and diced by Shadir Sanders.
Okay.
Yep.
In Lubbock, John Roberts, what do you think?
In Lubbock, Travis Hunter may have scores on both offense and defense. Shadir Sanders is going to put up lots of yards against this Texas Tech team. I think that that Colorado will absolutely score a ton. Texas Tech may score a bunch. It just won't be enough, and it won't be nearly enough. I expect it to be a 2-score victory for Colorado, and I think that happens. Maybe it could happen later in the game, but I think that just Texas Tech's just not going to be able to stop Colorado at all. So.
All right. I mean, this Texas Tech team is one that bites me every single time. I feel like I picked against them. They win. I picked them. They lose. They're ones that I think they've bit me 3 times this year. I'm pretty sure already this Texas Tech team has. So I'm a little timid to even pick this game, to be quite honest with you. Big win last week for the Red Raiders, against the Cyclones, knocking them from the unranked or unbeaten teams last week. And they get to go home in Lubbock here and this could be a big time win for them if they could get it. I mean, however, I do kind of believe that Colorado and Shadir Sanders and Travis Hunter and stuff is the better team here. And I expect them to be playing up because they are playing for something here, something big possibly. So give me the Buffs in this one. All right. Now this may be one of the games here this week that I've got that really has no college football playoff implications probably in this game. But I do think this is 2 really good teams who could wind up being in the top 25 in the college football playoff rankings with another win or 2. So South Carolina is at Vandy. Hammonds.
Yeah.
South Carolina, surprisingly, here is a 6-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, and I don't like that, but just because
Vandy's played really well. Vandy's played really well, Hammonds. They
play really well at home too. And South Carolina is not a good road team. They don't play good on the road at all. Now, they did beat Kentucky on the road. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But beyond that game, they haven't looked that great. On the road, they always shoot themselves in the foot.
Vandy South played Carolina, Texas within 3 on the road.
Do what?
Who? I
said Vandy played Texas within 3 on the road. I mean, that's how good they are, I think.
Yeah. I think Vandy has covered the spread in back-to-back games coming into this one, and in 5 of their last 6. So I think they can get going. I like Vandy to win and cover. I just don't trust this South Carolina offense on the road. They sometimes get into lulls offensively against teams that are better than they are, like on the road. Now they played at home, like they're night and day comparisons from home and away. But I more or less look at this from a standpoint that Vandy has been difficult to beat at home. They when they played at home, they come to play and meant business, and I think they do that this weekend.
Okay. All right, John Roberts, what do you think on this game?
I'm just going to go against convention on this one. Normally, I would pick Vanderbilt because they have played well at home, and South Carolina has played poorly on the road. But for this game only, I am going to go the opposite direction, and I'm going to say that South Carolina not only is able to win, but they are able to cover the 6 points. And I really don't have a whole lot to really talk about to prove other than, South Carolina, with what they've done at home, I just think that this may be the game where it actually translates to a road game. So you've got the defensive line that I think could bottle up Pavia. You've got
they do have a good defensive line.
That you do have an offense that can be, very much a quick strike. You've got one that can take up, have long drives and keep Pavia off the field because you've got
heavy offense. Run heavy offense.
Yeah, to run heavy offense. But again, if Sellers starts hitting some of those deep balls too, then it can be a quick strike team too.
I think when you look at this game though, John, I think it's going to be 17-10, 17-13, something like the Auburn game last week. It's not. You're not going to have a lot of points.
Well, I mean, that was yeah. I mean, look, I think you can. What's the over under? Yeah, you can definitely hammer the under on it, but I still think that South Carolina could cover the 6 points. They have the ability to do it. They haven't really proved that they can, which is why I'm going kind of against conventional wisdom on this one.
All right,
but
we're in the hurry up. We're trying to get through all this.
Go.
All right.
Brad's playing quarterback. He's Cutter Bowley tonight.
yeah. We're in the hurry up, guys. All right. So, Vandy's played so well. They've covered nearly every spread the last 5-6 weeks. This is at home. They've covered spreads on the road. And I don't think Vandy is getting any credit for the way they have played. I have said this is 3 or 4 weeks in a row. I don't agree with the spread. I didn't agree with the spread last week at Auburn. I mean, against Auburn. I don't agree with this spread.
Yeah, I was definitely against that one.
I'm taking I'm taking Vandy in this again and see where I stand. So I think they're playing extremely well. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason other than Diego Pavia. I mean, but this team is playing really well. All right, guys, this is a big game of the week. College game day is there. Alabama at LSU. Bama is a 3-point favorite in Death Valley at night on the road. And for me, John, this is a college football playoff knockout game.
This is an elimination game.
Even elimination. Even Bama, if they lose this game, they should be out. I don't want to hear about them again.
Here's the thing about this game. I want to take the home team in this game just for the reason that Alabama on the road, they've lost at Vanderbilt, they've lost at Tennessee. They've not shown the same mental toughness that Saban put into them when they went on the road. They don't have that closer mentality. But LSU has been very inconsistent.
Erratic.
And that's why I think I'm going to take Bama in this game. And, you've had, the A&M game. LSU was up, choked it away.
Against what? A running quarterback.
A running quarterback.
Yeah.
And now they're facing another running quarterback. And well, not really. He throws it out, but he does run some. So give me Alabama the 3 points. But I will say this: Tiger Stadium will make a difference in this game. This is a tough environment to play in. Expect some chaos, like John says, because when you play at Tiger Stadium, there's always something crazy that happens. So, but I think I'm going to take Bama in this one. As much as I don't want to, I think Bama has the better team in this game.
Okay, John Roberts, what say
you? I expect a couple of false starts by Bama. I expect a couple of bad snaps by Bama, mistimed, whatever. But I do expect Bama to win the game and to cover the 3 points. I think defensively they will get a couple of interceptions. I think that's what's going to be ultimately be the difference in the game. Is I think it's going to be the defense that does it. I think Bama's defense is kind of starting to play better, and I think that whatever their offense has been doing, I think the defense is actually going to be what wins the game. So Bama covers the 3.5.
I mean, I'm going to throw it at you guys like this. LSU defensively against running quarterbacks, look over the last 2 years and, look at what they've done. They're just not good defensively against possibly running quarterbacks. And Milroe is very athletic, and when a play breaks down, he's going to use his legs. That's what he's going to do. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I don't think they're going to be able to control that. And even though this is in Death Valley at night on the road in probably one of the most challenging venues to play in college football, I'm still going to go Bama here. But the loser of this game is out of the running for the top 12.
Bye-bye.
In the college football playoff.
Adios. See ya.
Because they both have 2 losses, right? They both have 2.
Right. They'll be
so. Yeah, there's not going to be a 3-loss. There's not going to be a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs. So I mean, it's 100%.
I'm going to say this:
elimination.
If Alabama wins this game, if you look at their schedule, they got a shot to go.
Yeah, they definitely have a shot to go.
This is a big game. Yeah, if they win,
because
absolutely.
Look, they're going to.
Their schedule is not that hard, is what I'm saying.
It's Oklahoma, a BS team, and Auburn.
And Auburn. Yeah.
That's it. So. And they should be able to win all 3 of them.
Right. Yeah. Right. Speaking of Oklahoma, we got Oklahoma at Missouri.
Oh goodness.
Oklahoma at Missouri. Somehow or another, as bad as Oklahoma has played, they are a 3-point favorite at Missouri, which kind of blows my mind.
Cooks has to be 100% out of the game. If
Cook is out. Cook is out tomorrow.
He's 100% out. Okay.
Cook is out. Okay. Well, maybe that's why.
Playing. He's not.
No way.
Tomorrow.
No way. That this line is 3 Oklahoma with Cook.
I'm going to say this.
That's what it was this evening.
The Sooners' offense has improved since they switched coordinators and quarterbacks. They've looked a lot better. Missouri is reeling.
Is Jackson Arnold back in?
It doesn't matter who's in for Oklahoma. They're going to beat Mizzou.
I think he is.
I think Arnold's back in.
I think Arnold's back. And
I wouldn't care.
Here's the thing, Brad. We said this before the season started. We was kind of, I wouldn't say bullish on Missouri, but we really didn't know. Their seasons is in shambles. They haven't lived up to expectations. They haven't done what we thought they would
6 do. 6-2. I'd take it.
I'd take it at this point, but
I'm just saying I would take it.
I anticipate OU's defense creating some problems with Cookout. They're stout against the run. They can generate some pressure. And Pine is the quarterback, I believe, for Missouri tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma ranks 4th nationally in tackles for a loss. They're a good defense. I think they'll be the reason why Oklahoma wins this game tomorrow. I think their defense will win this game, and I think they'll score enough points to win this game in Missouri tomorrow. And I think they cover the spread.
Okay.
I just don't think they can win without Cook.
John Roberts?
Even though Cook has not had a great year,
Cook is the heart and soul of the team. And
exactly.
With him being out, because just look at the Auburn game. Auburn had it won until he came back in.
Yeah.
And like I said, if Auburn were worth a damn, Auburn were worth a damn, then that game they would be 5-3, not 6-2. But they're not worth a damn because Auburn sucks, and therefore Missouri came back and won that game. Anyway, so with that being said, Pine's not that good. Oklahoma's defense will stop him. All you have to do is key in on the rush, and they don't have great running backs at the moment. So, that's really your biggest difference right there.
And with the win, Oklahoma goes bowling.
Boomer Sooner, right?
That's a lot to play for.
Yeah, and so Pine's not going to be the difference maker. They don't have a good enough rushing attack right now because I don't even think their number one running back is back or is playing at all. So they just have to key in on the rush, and they'll stop it. It will be Boomer Sooner bowling. Next game.
All right. I mean, it's tough. This one's tough for me because I really expected this Missouri team to be much better than what they have been. But with Cook out, man, I got to go Oklahoma here. I mean, I got to go with the Sooners with Cook out. I mean, there's just they have not looked good when Cook has not been in or around the game here. So I just got to go Oklahoma.
Well, when he played hurt.
All right, last Big Ten game. Yeah, last Big Ten game, Washington at Penn State. Penn State is a 12.5-point favorite at home, coming off of the loss to Ohio State last week. Do they bounce back, Hammonds? And they are like 6 in the college football playoff.
Yes, they do. I got confused. Yes, they bounce back. Washington is 0-3 on the road. They've allowed 71 points in their last 2 road games at Indiana and at Iowa, and that should tell you everything I need to know about this game. They'll be on the bad end of this game. Don't expect them to score a lot of points.
Washington's been okay. I think Washington's been better than Michigan, if that's any consolation.
But Penn State is 7th ranked in the country in scoring defense. Washington's going to have trouble scoring Saturday or tomorrow. So give me Penn State. I think they cover the spread. I think they regroup after losing to Ohio State, and they win this game and continue to play for a shot at the playoff.
Okay. John Roberts?
Are they playing for anything, Penn State?
Yeah, they're still in the hunt.
They're still in the hunt.
Number 6. And
do they
they only got one loss, and
should they be number 6? Should they be number 6?
There's some questions about that, but
yeah,
that's another topic.
Think so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Penn State wins the game, but they do not cover. I don't think that they'll win by 12.5 or 13. I don't think they'll win by 13.
Yeah, I mean that's a little high, to be honest, because the one thing this Penn State, and it seems like they always do that, no matter what year, no matter what quarterback, no matter what coordinator, seems like they struggle to score points. It kind of reminds me of somebody else I know that I won't mention right now. But kind of reminds me of somebody else. But having said that, 12.5. I mean, come on. They may not score 20 points. So, I mean, I expect them to win, but gosh, you got to win by 2 touchdowns basically to cover 12.5 points.
Mm-hmm. Washington's not
are they gonna put up?
Washington's not a great
but
road team
if Washington scores 13 points, Penn State's got to score above 26 to cover the spread. Can they do that? I don't know if Penn State can put up 26 points.
I think they can. This is not a good Washington team, to be honest.
I mean, that's my goal. That's my thing with it. I tell you what, Hammonds, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to pick Penn State because I think they will win this game. But this point spread worries the crap out of me, is all I got to say.
I will say this. Let me give you this. If Penn State wins by more than 12, listen, if Penn State wins by more than 12, you got to wear a Cowboys jersey.
I don't even have a Cowboys jersey, and I am not wearing a Cowboys jersey. It's not happening. You can give that one up.
Oh, God.
All right. We're going to end the football, and we got to do this pretty quick. But the Holy War is going on out in Utah. This is a big one. In Utah, they call this game the Holy War. It is BYU at Utah, and BYU is a 3.5-point favorite. Of course, they are still undefeated. Utah has had a disappointing season so far for Kyle Whittingham. Hammonds, what do you think?
I'm going to say this. The Utes have been a mess on offense against Big 12 competition, and it starts with their passing game. Their passing game is not great at all. Now, they're going up against
Rising's out for the year.
And they're going up against a really good pass defense in BYU. And I think the Cougars win this game just for the fact their secondary will be the reason why. But to me, this is a scary game, man. And I say that because this is a rivalry game. This is the Holy War. It's at Utah.
It is.
You can throw all the records out of these type of games. But I think BYU will take care of business in this game. But this is tough for me because when it comes to these kind of games, you just don't know what to expect. And so, but I'm going to lean with the team that
100%. But BYU is the better team.
I'm going to lean with the team that's done what they've done all year, and that's BYU, and hopefully they continue to do what they've been doing.
Yeah. All right, John Roberts.
BYU. Okay, there you go. That's it. I just wanted to be quick. BYU.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm going to do too. I think BYU has been the much better team all year long, and I think they deserve to be higher in the college football playoff rankings than 9. To be quite honest with you, I did a blind resume thing on the Big Fuss show this week, and
switch them in Penn State.
The reason why.
Switch them in Penn State.
Yeah, well, I actually had them in Miami in a blind resume, and they have a better resume than Miami, to be honest. I think so. I'm going to take the Cougars here, and I've been a big proponent of Utah. I think anybody that watches my show would know that, but I'm taking the BYU Cougars here in this game. I think they go in and win the Holy War here, and there's a reason why that rivalry is really heated and hated. It's the reason why it's called the Holy War out in Utah. So with that, I'm going to let one of our Howie Fresh talk about the Real Fresh channel real quick, and then we're going to come back and we are going to do basketball.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Howie Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
All right, guys, that was Howie Fresh on the Real Fresh channel. And we are also on WSBN TV, channel 30. Just want to throw that up real quick while I do that. And then, guys, for the very first time on Game Day Pick'em this year, we are switching to basketball. I've got 5 games here to talk about. There are 3 tomorrow. And the first game we're going to talk about is Tennessee is at Louisville. Tennessee.
Let me give you my pick, and then I got to do something.
Tennessee is a 1.5-point favorite.
I got to do something real quick. I'll give you my pick first. I like Tennessee in this game. Louisville, to me, they got a new coach, Pat Kelsey, new pieces, new players. Tennessee, to me, is returning 2 of the most important things in college basketball, and that's an elite coach and a point guard. Zakai Ziegler, to me, is like having another coach on the floor. He's a leader for this team. Louisville reloaded the roster, but so did Tennessee. Chaz Lanier, he's coming in from North Florida. Louisville dominated the paint in their first opener. I don't think it's going to be easy against Louisville and their size, but I think Tennessee takes care of business tomorrow and they win this game. I think they covered the 1.5 at Louisville.
Okay.
I like this Tennessee team, though.
All right, John Roberts, what do you think on this game?
Yeah, I like Tennessee right now. I think that they are one of the better teams. I know that they don't have Dalton Connect, but they still have other pieces left over from last year's team. So, plus head coach is always good. Even in the regular season, he definitely is very good. So, I'm going Tennessee on for tomorrow night's game.
I mean, all that's true. I hear you. And Rick Barnes is a definite top-notch head coach in the regular season for sure, 100%. Tennessee is the ranked team here. I think they're ranked around 12th or something like that preseason. Louisville is unranked, of course. They've had Kenny the last 2 years, Kenny Payne. They've been horrible. This is a great opportunity for Pat Kelsey. He has put together a pretty good roster. He is trying to fire up the fan base. The fan base has been basically non-existent for Louisville the last couple of seasons, for good reason, to be honest with you, for very good reason. But he's trying to rally the fan base here. This is at Louisville. This is at the Yum Center. Second game of the year. They get a great opportunity with an good SEC team coming in to the Yum Center here at home for them. I think they're going to be fired up, and I think they're going to be ready for this game. I expect to see Louisville give all the fight in the world. I do not think we're going to see the same Louisville that we have seen the last couple of seasons. I don't think they're going to fold and look terrible early in the season here. I think it's going to be a very close one. The 1.5 is probably close. I think this is going to be like a 5 or 6 point win by Tennessee. I'm not sold on Tennessee as high as some of these people are. I think they're going to miss some of the inside game that they normally have had. Jonas Adu transferring out is going to be a big loss for them, I think. And I think replacing some of the bigs is going to be an issue for this Tennessee team. They went out and got Chaz Lanier and a few pieces. They got Zakai Ziegler back. They've got some nice pieces on the wing and in the backcourt. It's the front court I'm worried about with this Tennessee team. However, I am picking Tennessee to cover this tomorrow. But I do think Louisville is much improved, and I think we'll see that.
I think Louisville's size will give them some fits tomorrow a little bit.
I think it will. I think that's this Tennessee team's Achilles, if you ask me, losing Jonas Adu and the inside game. All right, the next one tomorrow is a little bit later tomorrow evening. We got Baylor at I'm not sure. Is this a neutral site game, John? I think it is, isn't it? Or is this in Arkansas?
It is. It's a neutral site.
That's what I thought. This is a neutral site game. So Baylor versus Arkansas, 1.5 Baylor, after Baylor gets blown out by Gonzaga. So game 2 here. Is this a reset, John?
I'm going to say this. I know that John Calipari's at Arkansas. I don't want everybody to think that I'm going around saying this and that about Cal. I'm not. But until you find an offense and can shoot better than you did, the last 2 games against TCU and the exhibition in Lipscomb, you're going to have problems against these better teams. You can't go 4 for 17 from the field and 3-point line and win many games in the SEC. It's just not going to happen. With that said, this offense relies on Boogie Flan and Davis. And I don't see that working enough to win this game. I think Baylor is going to be regrouped. They're going to be ready to go in this one. I think
they got smoked.
I'll say this. Baylor won't play as poorly as it did against Gonzaga. I think they're going to respond after losing like that, and I think they're going to cover this game against Arkansas. Arkansas is going to have some issues shooting the ball this year. Me and you talked about this last night. If you got guys going 4 for 17, and you're only getting it from a couple guys, and you got and you're not playing John L. Davis like he's the number 1 transfer portal in the country. If you're not playing him the right way,
you're
going to have struggles. And so,
might want to consider starting him. But I mean, what do I know? I mean, just saying.
You're a couch potato. Again.
I mean, all right, John Roberts, what do you say on this game?
So this is a neutral, and I'm going to say this, neutral site game. It's in Dallas, so but it's not
right.
It's not at Baylor's campus, but right. So just like the Houston game is a neutral site game, but it is not. It's not on Houston's campus. It is in Houston, though. Anyway, so I'm going with Baylor right now, mainly because until I see Arkansas improve from the last few years, and so far in the first couple of games or the first couple of exhibition games and stuff like that, they just really haven't.
I'm not hating. But the things you've seen in the last 2 games from Arkansas is what you saw at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to look at and say the offense is a problem under Cal.
Yeah,
it's not. Now I will say Reed Shepherd did some great things last year, Rob Dillingham, but you get what I'm saying, Brad. Like, until I'm not a fan of the dribble drive. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. It's horrible. It's horrible basketball.
So,
but
John Roberts, are you picking Baylor then to cover this?
Yes.
Sorry, Brad. Okay. I'm gonna get on one of my rants.
I thought that's where you was going.
I'm gonna get on one of my rants. I need to hush.
Well, I mean, I hear you. All right. I mean, here's my thing, guys. This Baylor team, I was expecting a whole lot more, and I'm going to be honest with you. They got their, handed to them on Monday night.
Like Vermont?
The Zags. I mean,
Vermont.
I'm telling you right now, 40 points, 38. And they're a top 10 team in the preseason. This Baylor team is number 8, I think. I mean, that was an absolute ass whooping. And let's just call it what it is. There's no other way around it. So they didn't look good either. And now Arkansas's not looked good either the last exhibition game and the first game in the regular season. I agree with you, John. The offense has got to get better. Last year at Kentucky, we went through this. Reed and Rob needed to start. It never did happen. He goes out. He goes to Arkansas. He goes out. He lands the #1 overall transfer in the country, John L. Davis, who 2 years in a row has averaged over 20 points a game, been to the Final Four with FAU nonetheless. He comes to Arkansas and he's not even starting. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It makes no sense. And they're struggling shooting, and he's the top shooting guard overall. He's a shooting guard, the top overall transfer.
I will be
20
fair
plus
to you.
points, 2 straight seasons.
I will be fair to Calipari. He did start against Lipscomb.
Okay.
He started
in the preseason. He wasn't starting, or in the exhibition.
Yeah, he did start against Lipscomb.
Like I don't understand it. Okay, well, correct me. I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to correct you.
Starting,
I'm just saying they did start in Wednesday night against Lipscomb. So
yeah, but anyways, this is a game. I'm not sure what to expect, and usually when that happens, Arkansas will probably shoot lights out in this game, and they will probably win. I think Baylor's the better team here. I'm going to pick Baylor in this game. So there you go. I said a little bit of peace.
Same old song and dance.
A little bit.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, John, this is yours. This is John Roberts. He's an Auburn guy up there. I'm going to start with you, but I'm going to ask you this question first, and let me set it up. This is Saturday night, Auburn at Houston. It is a neutral site game, but it is in Houston. I still call that at Houston here. They're a 4.5-point favorite. The spread jumped. Did that have something to do with this plane deal today? Do you think?
I don't know exactly what happened on the plane, other than I saw that there was something that's happened, or somebody has said something, but I don't know anything about it.
Like, I hear it was pretty much a brawl on the plane, and they had to turn the plane around, worried about things.
Can you just see Bruce Pearl?
Players.
Could you just see Bruce Pearl getting up in the middle of the room and saying, "If y'all don't be good, I'm turning this plane around."
Room? It's a plane.
Well, plane.
I'd say
whatever.
The pilot, from the way I understand it, is the pilot done it, made a decision to turn the plane around. That it was a breach of safety, and the pilot turned the plane around. The way I was told. I don't know if
Brad.
Like,
welcome to college basketball season.
I mean, what in the world is going on with the Auburn basketball team?
I mean, look, they probably were playing poker on the plane, and somebody they're competitive players, and probably had decided that somebody thought that they were cheap shotting, and they got mad. I'm certain that's what happened.
I mean,
I've seen shit like that happen on a baseball bus. So, and look,
but this game,
there are guys. Look.
John,
here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Real quick,
okay.
It was 2 points, and it jumped to 4.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, sure, they probably are taking into account that something. So, unless there's somebody that's been suspended and not playing in this game, I mean, I wouldn't really read too deep into it unless somehow we're going to find something else out. But for me, having been on buses with, a D1, team, and look, not everybody's got to like each other. All right. They don't have to be best friends. They don't. They really don't. They can play well together and not be best friends. We had a catcher and a third baseman that fought each other in the in the locker room because they just came from basically, I mean, it was like, look, you had a guy that was a prima donna and a guy that was a good old country boy. And they just egged each other on until they were about ready to go, go blow for blow. And I mean, like, look, it nearly happened at a camp too. The same two guys, they were coaching, little kids at a camp. And while their teams were playing, you got a screen behind home plate. Head coach is there. Those two guys are there, and they're just talking, crap to each other the whole time. And it nearly escalated to, blows right there. And the head coach was sitting there going, "There's a time and place. There's a time and place."
It's still a little different. I hear you and everything else, John.
When these guys go back into their dorms, you can. I will leave the lights on right here, and you guys could go at it.
Listen,
he just said, just don't do it here.
It's still a little different when you do this 30,000 feet in the air on an airplane.
Yeah, like I said,
the pilot's got to be like. And the pilot's got to be like, wait a second, for safety reasons, we got to get back on the ground. That's a little different.
I'm not saying that this was a smart decision to fight on the plane. I'm just saying that, look, everybody, especially when you're a D1
that'd be like
that's all I'm saying.
That'd be like me and you and Brad. That'd be like me, you and Brad going on a trip for like the Final Four, say, us as a podcast. And I grab Brad by the neck and throw him up against the window in an airplane. That pilot's going to turn that plane around.
In an airplane.
Because he's not going to put up with
sports
playing.
Yeah. So like
that's dangerous. I mean, we laugh about it.
All
but
right,
that's
let's
dangerous.
get to the game.
That's dangerous.
Let's get to the game.
At the end of the day.
We got Kim Pom ranked 1 and 2. So Houston's ranked 1 in the Kim Pom, Auburn's ranked 2 in the Kim Pom. It's early in the season. Yeah. I know, I get it. Okay. Auburn had an amazing output against a team that had been to the NCAA tournament the last few years. They're expected to win their conference. They had beaten UAB on the road just 2 days prior. And Auburn absolutely just, ripped them a new one. It's
they looked great the other night.
This team can do that. Now, what Bruce Pearl's got to be able to do is to be able to rein that all in. Obviously, them fighting on a plane is not really reining it in. So they got to rein that all in, and he's got to have them take that energy and now do it again on the road. The road, because they're but still.
They got to rein it in.
You got to rein it in.
Hopefully, that raining out of the sky.
And then you got to.
Hopefully, they're not raining out of the sky.
Yeah, and then they're going to do it on the road because it's a neutral site game. Anyway, I don't know if Auburn is going to win this game. I hope they do. Can they keep it inside of 4.5? Sure, they can. Will they? I don't know. I mean, Houston's really good. Houston has been good for the last several years. Auburn has been up and down the last several years. This year they've got, I think that, they've improved themselves.
I mean, they really are.
Because the biggest thing that Auburn didn't have over the last couple of years is that they didn't have big shooting guards. Now they've got tall shooting guards. Their guards are now like 6'6" as opposed to like 5'11". So now you've got to deal with their size and the fact that they can shoot it. They went off shooting this last game. I think they hit 16 threes. Miles Kelly hit 7 in a row. He started out 0-3 and then hit 7 in a row. And I think he hit like 5 of them in like a 2-minute time span on the clock. Yeah. And I think that I think that it's not, you don't have to have the offense coming from Janai Broome. You've got a lot of pieces. I still think that 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 Houston probably wins this game. I just think that the kind of the steadiness that Houston's been and the sporadic that Auburn has been, but I do think that Auburn can keep it close. I think that they can play with Houston. I think that they can go on runs that look just amazing. I think that they have a defense that can play.
Are they going to stay within 4?
I don't.
Are they going to stay within 4.5?
I'm going to pick against them right now until we really get a better look at what this Auburn team is.
Yeah,
and so, as a fan, I think I'm going to go with.
All right, that's fair.
That I'm going to pick Houston and the 4.5.
That's fair.
But if Auburn keeps it, this is one of the picks that I gladly admit that I was wrong.
And I think the Tigers too. They're going to rely heavy on Broome in this game, but Houston has a guy named JoJo Tugler that they can match him up with. He's I think got a wingspan of 7'6" inches. I think both, like I said, both of these teams will be playing well into March. I just think Houston's more equipped to win this early game with their experience, their defense, and their ability to rotate players.
Here's the deal too with having Janai and Caldwell will be playing at the same time instead of Janai and Caldwell swapping out, playing the same position. So that means that he's just going to be a big forward versus.
I love about Houston. I've always told Brad this. I love how they bring people in and out. Like they're sort of like an Alabama team when it comes to subbing. They just throw different dudes at you.
Yeah.
Each possession.
Right.
And to me, that's going to be tough for Auburn because I'm not sure Auburn has the depth.
Oh, Auburn's got the depth.
They got the depth, but I don't think they
have
the this early in the season. I think it's going to be tough for them.
Just remember a lot of the depth that Auburn
has, and that's where I'm at. So y'all debated this for 7 minutes. To be quite honest with you,
there's
a lot of the depth that Auburn has was riding the bench or was starting for Auburn 2 years ago when Auburn didn't have a great team.
There is a name I want to say that Auburn people need to kind of
Piggies.
He's one of them, but Miles Kelly.
Miles Kelly, yes, I've already mentioned
Kelly is a stud.
Yeah,
and if you've never heard his name, you'll hear his name quite a bit this year.
Went off for 21.
All right, we got to move on. You got to take a pick, and we got to move on. We got 2 more games to go.
Well, we already said what we were doing. We already said it.
I hadn't heard Hammonds.
Hammonds is picking Houston.
Which side did you say?
Yeah, he's picking Houston.
Okay.
See?
All right. Listen, I really like this Auburn team. I think Auburn is going to make a deep run, not only in the season, but also in the SEC here. I think they're going to be to me, I think Alabama and Auburn are the best 2 teams in the SEC. Preseason, early on, if I'm taking Auburn, Alabama as the best 2 teams in the SEC. I would love to see Auburn win this game because I think the SEC needs that. I don't think they need to go into Houston and have the Big 12 top team or one of the top teams here, them in Kansas, and lose this game. I would love to see Auburn win. However, early in the season, I just think Houston will get it done here. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be different than y'all. I'm going to take Auburn in the points and the 4.5. But I really think Houston probably wins this.
Speaking of Alabama,
early.
They only won by 9 points tonight against Arkansas State, just so you know.
Yeah, it went 3 points at halftime.
Yeah,
they were up 3 at half, but they were able to get away with it at the last 5 minutes of the game. They were able to pull away.
Yeah. All right. Tuesday night. We do not have point spreads on these yet. The point spreads are not out. Tuesday night, the Champions Classic comes on. We're going to do both games here. Michigan State versus Kansas. This is in Atlanta. Let's try to be fairly quick. We are really out of time. We went too long tonight on all this.
KJ Adams returns for Kansas. You know, they get Hunter Dickinson back. They get Zeke Mayo. This should be an interesting game going up against a Michigan State team that returns Jaden Atkins, Jeremy Fears, Cohen Carr.
Chase Richardson.
Yeah, this should be a fun first game in this game to see where Michigan State is at from a year ago. Michigan State did not have the team that I thought they would have a year ago. Now I watched them the other night; they have improved, but we'll see where they are when they play Kansas Tuesday night and see where Tom Izzo can take these guys, because he's got a fairly couple of good guys on this team that can win some games in the Big Ten.
John Roberts, what do you think on this game?
Kansas.
I like Kansas in this game, though, by the way.
I made it short.
I'm going to be honest with you. Kansas was pretty impressive tonight against North Carolina first half. North Carolina did come back, but Kansas won at the Phog by 3 tonight in that game. They have some bigs. They have a lot more than they had last year. This Kansas team does. And Michigan State's been a little bit off the last couple of years for Izzo. I'm going to go with Kansas in this game to start with here, but I wouldn't expect to see Michigan State be bad here. I think they will challenge. Izzo's always hard-nosed, so we'll see exactly how this game goes down. But I think Kansas wins.
To me, I feel like this.
Then we get the big game of the night on Tuesday night.
I think this is the game of the night.
Then we get the big game of the night here. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. We got we get the big game here. We got Kansas. We got Duke versus Kentucky here on Tuesday night in the Champions Classic. This is the late game, and it's going to be a fun one, to be quite honest with you. In this game,
interested.
Duke is preseason top 10. Duke's preseason top 10, and Kentucky is barely hanging in the top 25. So I think most people, pundits and stuff, are thinking Duke's going to walk in this one. But I think this game's going to be much closer than people think. So, Hammonds, now for you.
I agree with you. Kentucky's got some shooters in Jackson Robinson, Kobe Bria. They got Andrew Carr. They got the defensive wizard in Lamont Butler. Then they got Ainsley Almanor that comes off the bench. Then they got Brandon Garrison that comes in and spells time for Amari Williams. To me, it's going to be interesting how Kentucky's experience goes up against Duke's freshmen. And we're not used to this yet.
I'm sorry. I'm just having a laugh. Oh, me. Okay. Did we lose, John?
Looks like it. I think he's gone.
Yeah, it looks like we lost him.
I'm going to make my pick quick.
I don't see. I think
Duke.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to make my pick quick. Duke. There you go.
Oh, I guess this is John. He says my laptop died.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah. I told you mine's going to die too, because we've kind of went over time here. So I think this game is going to be much more challenging than what anybody thinks. So I think Duke is going to be everybody's pick in this game. I think Kentucky's going to surprise some people. I'm going to go off kilter here, and I'm going to say Kentucky wins this game with their experience. Duke is going to be starting several freshmen. I like their freshmen. I think they're going to grow throughout the year, but here's the deal. I really like the experience of this Kentucky team, and I'm going to be I'm going to take Kentucky here as an upset over a top 10 Duke team.
Sweet. So I got a little thing that I read on the on this thing. Apparently, it was Chad Baker Mazara versus the Caldwell brothers. So Dylan and Drake.
Okay.
And I'm pretty certain Chad Baker
okay.
Mazara started it just because he's that kind of guy. He probably picked a fight with the little brother. The big brother stepped in. That's probably what happened. I'm going to go with that. Either way.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. I just having a little fun with it and everything. So I appreciate you guys. We have run over tonight by a few minutes here. So I appreciate you guys being on with me. This has been College Sportscast Game Day Pick'em Week 11. We're going to have to get a little better at this by adding some basketball and football while the next couple of months while we're doing that and kind of running through these and not taking quite as much time so we can make these a little bit shorter for you guys. So we appreciate you. Tomorrow there will be no post-game Kentucky show with Talking Kentucky. They have a bye week. So we will see you on either Monday or Tuesday night. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to work this week. But we might do Monday night for the Big Blue Hoops Cast and Tuesday night and maybe do it a little bit earlier so we can watch the Kentucky game and Duke game because it's a late game Tuesday night. So I appreciate you guys being with us, and we will see you next week. Y'all have a good night.